Greetings. This is Chess Optics, and I'm Daniel, where I try to help you help yourself visualize a position and the goals of being able to calculate just a little bit better. I'm not the best calculator myself, but I found a method that I think works for me and may work for you. So one of the examples that I'm going to use today is this position between a king and a pawn versus a queen and a knight. Obviously, looking at this position, we see that white has a significant material advantage. But how do we significantly, what technique do we use to significantly show that our advantage is winning? So for those of you who have had positions with a queen and a king versus a lone king, you know that the king has to be moved to the edge of the board if there's nothing else on the board to deliver checkmate. This is very similar in this position, but how do we do it? It looks at first sight like the king can go anywhere it wants to. It's not in check, but this is not true. This is an illusion. So if you understand what's called the king's field, which means when the king is not in check and there's a piece like this queen here in close proximity to it, some of its flight squares are cut off. In this position, namely, we have the flight squares cut off, the easiest ones to see at first are along the fifth rank. We have E5, F5, and G5. These squares are not accessible to the black king. Nor are the squares E4 and F3. And because we have a knight on the board, neither is the square G3. So if there's 8 and 6 of them are missing, that only leaves 2. These two squares are E3 and G4. This helps us realize that if we want to maneuver this king to the edge of the board, we have to take more space, should I say. So the queen goes to E6. Taking this E file from the king, which is the squares E5, E4, and E3. So what do we have left for the king? Now, some of you may be looking at this saying, oh, well, the king can run forward. Well, that doesn't work. So hypothetically speaking, let's say the king decides to go to F3. Okay, we move down to E5. Now, the king can't go here. It may decide, I'll go chase the knight, right? Fine. You chase the knight. The queen, still not checking you, goes to F4. King takes the knight, and the queen delivers checkmate on F1. So let's look at that again. Okay? So we know that moving forward doesn't work, right? Okay. So what happens if we decide to put the queen on E6? The king doesn't move forward, it goes to G5, F7. So the king says, I'm not going that way, I'm just going to get out of the way and go here. Well, guess what? Now the king is on the edge of the board, exactly where we wanted. So we move to G8. The king moves to H5. And ever so slowly, it's walking to its doom. Queen to G7. King to H4. Queen to G6. And the last place that the king will venture is to H3. And now we have queen to G3 checkmate. And I'll give you that position again from the start. The queen is on D5. The king is here on Yes, that's correct, on F4. So I would like for you to take some time and look at this position on your own. You can use an engine if you would like. But the reason that I've shared this with you is because I think that it's very helpful in allowing you to visualize how to maneuver a king to the edge of the board while not giving check, yet creating a position that's winning. And with that, from Chess Optics to you, I would like to say think ahead and may your chess be the best.